Well, hello, welcome back to my channel. It's Vanessa. I'm here to share with you my February TBR. It's almost the end of January and I've had a pretty good reading month, so I want to keep it up in February. So these are the things that I'm thinking of. So first for my nonfiction, one thing that I'm really excited to get to that I've had out from Libby already, and I'm kind of like waiting for the right moment to start it when I'm finishing with other books, is Y2K, and the subtitle for this book is How the 2000s Became Everything, Essays on the Future That Never Was. It says it's a delightfully nostalgic and bitingly told exploration about how the early 2000s forever changed us and the world we live in. It says the author Colette Shade offers a darkly funny meditation on everything, from pop culture to the political economy of the period. Then the other one that I have on Libby that I just checked out that I'm really excited about is The House of My Mother, and this is by Sherry Frankie, A Daughter's Quest for Freedom. So this is the memoir that just came out from Sherry Frankie, who is the daughter of Ruby Frankie from the 8 Passengers YouTube family blog channel. And Sherry Frankie has been very outspoken against her mother and all the things that her mother got involved with at the end, and the abuse that her and her siblings suffered under her mother before her mother was arrested for child abuse. I think in summer of 2023. I think she's been no contact with a lot of her family since then. It's also complicated because a lot of her family members, like her aunts, also are family vloggers, and I just find that world, that Mormon culture of family vlogging, really interesting. The culture and the ideas that they put forth on their videos of being so wholesome, and how that's not always the case. She's also spoken out at hearings against family vlogging and protecting children. Then I also have checked out today because my hold just came in, one that I talked about in my previous video about books that I'm looking forward to in 2025. This is Mood Machine, The Rise of Spotify and the Cost of the Perfect Playlist by Liz Kelly. Streaming has changed the way that we listen to music and think about music curation, and yeah, super excited about that one. One that I just got a notification on that my physical copy is ready at the library, but I don't have my audiobook copy ready just yet, so I'm not 100% sure if I'm gonna get to this one this month. It kind of just depends on how fast the audiobook copy is and if I decide to listen to it. But that's Challenger by Adam Higginbotham, and this was another one of the books that was in that video of 2024 releases that I missed that I'm looking forward to, and this is looking into the Challenger disaster, of course. I feel 75% sure that I'm gonna get to it in February, but if I don't, it's probably going to be early March. I have just one more nonfiction book, and I actually do have that on me, and that is A Well-Trained Wife, yet another one that I talked about in that video. It's the perspective from someone who leaves the Quiverful movement, which is really focused on submissiveness and a woman's place in the home, patriarchy, basically, Christian patriarchy. One thing that I thought about after I first mentioned this book in that last video is that, what is that show, 18 and Counting, or however many they have now, they're part of the Quiverful movement. And I did end up watching a documentary about that whole family. So the documentary that I watched, it's about the Duggar family, and it's called Shiny Happy People, Duggar Family Secrets. It was a really interesting documentary. They also interviewed a lot of other people who have been a part of that movement and have been raised in that environment, and kind of how they got out, a lot of them. I always love learning about people being in things that are semi-cult-ish and how they escaped. So that's it for nonfiction, so let's talk about my fiction next. I didn't have very many on my list until I was that's the whole point of my year, is that I want to read more adult fiction and find things that I like in adult fiction, so I added a few more to my list. I'm going to try Pink Slime, which again is a book that is a apocalypse pandemic book, and the things that are happening outside in the world for the main character are kind of a lens into what's happening internally as well. And then the last two are books that I have from Libra FM that were available as advanced listeners copies. One that I've had for a little bit now, Rental House. I looked more into this book, and I think it's more about an interracial couple and how their families view their dynamic and their cultural differences. It is a book where they are in a family vacation home together. I think it's supposed to be witty. I'm holding out that I'm gonna like it because so many people enjoy this author. This one I'm coming in with a little bit more trepidation, I think. And then last but not least is one that I've seen really making the rounds. I think it's the newest, biggest thing, Good Girl by Aria Aber. I just read what it's about and it looks really interesting. It's a debut novel. It's a coming of age story, so that's ding ding, things that I like. It sets as a portrait of an artist as a young woman set in a Berlin that can't escape its histories. Definitely looks like it's going to look into racial tensions. They were refugees and moved to Berlin woman. They're Afghan, questioning herself, like, who does she want to be? So that's it for my fiction. And then let's talk about my kids' books. I have two. One of them I did mention before, and that is A Strange Thing Happened in Cherry Hall by Jasmine Warga. I'm going to check this out on audiobook as well. And again, this is a book that is, I think, looking at art and thinking about art theft to answer bigger questions. This is a whimsical, moving story about the universal desire to be seen and understood, and how art can help us find connection even when we are at our loneliest. It seems like there's a girl that is in a painting that then is out of the painting and like living in real life and trying to figure out about that. So maybe it's not just like fully mystery, realistic mystery, but I think it might also be slightly fantastical or speculative. And then the other kids book that I want to try to get to is Shark Teeth. This is by Sherry Winston, and this is a book about family separation and basically trying all you can as a child, which is devastating but does happen to children in this country, to basically lie to other adults in your life so that they don't think that anything is wrong in your home life and they don't separate your family. But could it be that Kita's worst fear is actually the best thing that could ever happen to her family and to her? And then I just have two graphic novels. Well, one is a graphic memoir, nonfiction, and one is a graphic novel. The graphic novel one I do have, I'm really excited, is Benji Nate's new book that I had no idea had come out. This is Girl Juice. I don't know very much about it. I'm totally okay with that. I come to Benji Nate books because they are really absurd and funny and dry and like kind of ridiculous humor. The books that I read by Benji Nate are Lorna and Hellphone. Lorna was a really short book, and then Hellphone was a little bit longer. Crack up laughing. Like, I really enjoy that humor in graphic novels. Also really enjoy the artwork, how colorful it is, how like silly looking the illustrations are. I also didn't know that Benji Nate is Puerto Rican, so really interested to try this one out. And then last but not least is one that I just also got a notification, same as Challenger, that my hold is ready at the library, and that is Woman, Life, Freedom. I also mentioned this one in a previous video. Marjane Satrapi putting together a collection of illustrated essays, I guess, about things that are going on in Iran after 2022. There's been kind of a lot of like protests and people speaking out against like what is going on with women in Iran, with what they're allowed to do, how they're allowed to dress, and things like that. Very interested, especially because I love anthologies like this where it's like collected works from different people. So that is all the books that I'm hoping to get to in February, hopefully. It's kind of a lot of books, so I probably will get to like 75% of them. But one can hope. Thank you so much for watching my video. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.